Little Sonic, we got to ruin this doggone little planet. No time for that, Metal!
Can Sonic and Shadow defeat the deadly duo of Godzilla and Kong? A classic matchup between rivals first being enemies to joining forces to take on a larger threat. And at this time, GXK3 and Sonic 4 both drop in a similar time frame. So before they battle it out in the box office, who will win in an actual fight? Well, we'll be looking over their feats and their stats to determine a true winner. But hold the phone there! I would like to ask you, please subscribe, my friend. If you sub up, you can win free tickets to the Toughest Bear concert. He'll even let you be on his next song. Good deal, am I right? Well, anywho, let's go. Sonic the Hedgehog, dropping into the scene with the universe's most chopped design. My soul nearly jumped out of me just looking at it. It's ugly. Thankfully, Sonic got a low taper fade and he glowed up. This lineup was so tough that with just one piece of his hair, he lit up an area like these. Calculations for this energy burst came out to island levels of destructive energy. So that man Shin Godzilla's getting soloed by a piece of dandruff, bruh. That's tough. But that's just one of Sonic's quills. Logically, all of them together will accumulate way more energy, with the average hedgehog having 3,000 to 7,000 quills, and Sonic being larger than the average hedgehog. All of his quills together come out to enough energy to destroy large countries. And while my boy has full confidence using chaos energy, he should be even stronger. And let's talk about the aura farming Shadow. While holding back, he easily folded Sonic and his crew with low effort. Like bro is literally showing out for the shorties for having a fight. Like my guy, just in the fight. Considering Shadow is a good bit stronger than base Sonic, he should also be large country as well, but you can argue him to be more powerful. Shadow powers up the Eclipse Cannon just like a deranged hamster on a wheel would. He did it for about 10 minutes, which could mean he generated moon level to small planet amounts of levels of energy. And you could sorta kinda downscale base Sonic from this, since he did take a whooping from Shadow. I personally wouldn't, but you know, to each their own. With the Chaos Emeralds though, it's a different story. Sonic and Shadow with their super forms are significantly more powerful, and they had a top 5 fight scene. When Live and Learn started playing, I was hyped! So hyped I had no idea what was playing. I was looking around confused. Sorry guys, I didn't play Sonic growing up. It's more of a Mario guy. Regardless, the fight was peak, and so was their power. Sonic and Shadow, after putting their differences aside, halted a beam powerful enough to destroy Earth in a 25,000-mile radius. Obviously, destroying a planet is planetary, but since the beam would destroy it past its initial radius, it actually comes out to large planet. So Jupiter, you are not safe. And the Eclipse Cannon is stated to be Robotnik's strongest weapon, which should upscale the mini black hole from earlier in the movie, which has a dwarf star count. So the Hedgehog's holding off a large planet to a maybe dwarf star beam is incredibly impressive. However, with both of them together, they couldn't hold it off fully, so they shouldn't scale to the full blast. Regardless, I'm impressed. They're invited to the cookout. As for speed, this is quite literally what Sonic is all about. But is he a fraud in speed? Not even close. My man Sonic is dashing around the Great Wall of China in a heartbeat. That's faster than Rick Ross chasing after Big Mac. Sonic was also able to run from Montana to the Pacific Ocean in seconds. And just like when you lag mid-game, Sonic just straight up sees bullets and missiles in slow motion. All of these feats I listed places him in the relativistic tiers of speed, which is nearly as fast as the speed of light. And in the novelizations of the Sonic films, Sonic is described as going hyperspeed, which is a fancy way of saying the speed of light. Several characters like Knuckles and Shadow can react to Sonic at these speeds, but Sonic can increase his speed. While fighting Knuckles a second time, Knuckles was moving in slow-mo from Sonic's point of view, when last time Knuckles reacted to Sonic's attacks easily. Then Super Sonic would increase Sonic's speed even further, allowing him to travel to the moon in seconds and reacts to lasers out in the vacuum of space, easily getting Sonic way faster than the speed of light. Same would apply to Shadow. Sonic does have an AoE blast that can travel billions of times the speed of light, but I'm not sure anybody really scales to that in speed, so no one reacts to this attack, and in terms of AP, it doesn't seem all that impressive either. But if there's a non-Master Splinter way of arguing Sonic in game to react to these speeds, feel free to comment below. But let's talk about abilities and hacks. Sonic has electricity manipulation, electricity absorption, chaos energy, low region, weather manipulation, atom creation, heat generation, flight, and he got some BFR with his Sonic rings. Shadow is similar with a bonus of chaos spears, and he can even glitch and bend through time. And a nice bonus is they're highly skilled fighters, being able to beat or compete with Knuckles in combat. Knuckles stating he has been trained in all forms of lethal combat. Considering he's an alien, not sure if he includes Earth 2 or the universe, or just his world. Either way, this should mean he's vastly skilled in fighting. So keep up. You don't want to be in the dust behind Sonic and Shadow. Godzilla and Kong, two alpha titans dominating their domains. Kong, who's just a chill guy, and then there's Godzilla, who's an absolute crash out. Bro left his mission to eliminate Mechagodzilla and chose to target Kong, who did nothing to him. And then the beef was so bad that from across the planet, Godzilla had to announce to Kong that he does not rock with him. This feat being calculated from large island up to multi-continental, and when included the quantum destructive properties to Godzilla's atomic breath, it increases the small planet level of energy. And Kong has an axe that absorbs this atomic breath and amplifies said attack, knocking the sonic rings out of Godzilla. These two can be argued to be even more powerful than that. The hollow earth drill that Godzilla performed has some planetary interpretations, and two of Godzilla's biggest ops have planetary statements. And biggest of all is that Godzilla's base energy is compared to the hollow earth energy, which thanks to a show about cheating on your partner are compared to gamma ray bursts. Calculations for this power come to dwarf star level, and that's just near his base. Surpassed this easily with his stronger forms, and Kong also levels up too with an Omnitrix and knocks a more powerful Godzilla silly. And it could block a blast from Shimo from a long period of time, and she was capable of freezing Greenland to absolute 0 degrees in minutes. Thanks to KO2M, we know this can reach large planet regions of power. And as for Godzilla, we know he could stack up his power by at least up to 20 times. In terms of GXK dual speed, I'm not just gonna mention their travel speed cause come on bruh, we all know they ain't faster than Sonic and Shadow. But surprisingly to some, their combat reaction speed is not too shabby. Godzilla's atomic breath is composed of sarin covered radiation, which travels at 75% the speed of light. Kong reacts and dodges his atomic breath several times over.
What kind of shot is that? Have you ever shot that shot? Do you work on that shot?
And an op they both share, Mechagodzilla reacts to this beam point blank. The speed for this is nearly 2 times the speed of light. Kong in a weakened state was able to keep up with Mechagodzilla, and later Scar King was flipping and zipping around Kong's attacks. Kong couldn't even get a single lick in him. But because of his fighting adaptation, he eventually was able to keep up with Scar King, along with evolved Godzilla too. So the case can be made for them to be even faster than 2 times the speed of light. And the abilities and hacks the two possess are not lacking either. Godzilla has radiation manipulation, heat manipulation, AoE pulse attack, natural weaponry, adaptive evolution, energy and DNA absorption, extreme and temperature resistance, and more. While Kong has similar hacks as the Godzilla with the axe, electricity manipulation with the Beast Glove, and extreme temperature manipulation also with the Beast Glove. For their battle IQ, Godzilla knows some wrestling and grappling techniques, while also adapting mid-battle and baiting his opponents. Kong knows MMA along with quick fighting adaptation, learning how to combat his enemies in nearly a minute, along with a big brain to set up traps for his enemies when given opportunity. So I'm not gonna lie, Godzilla and Kong, when they link up together, are looking like prime LeBron and D Wade. The king of the monsters are ready to take on anybody. The fight is here. Who wins? Let's begin with base form, shall we? In base, Sonic and Shadow should at least be island a large country, with some moon and small planet stuff. But man oh man, that will not save them from Godzilla and Kong. Godzilla and Kong in base can be argued multi-continental all the way up to Dwarf Star. So sure, Sonic and Shadow will be dashing and blitzing them, but since the power gap is so big, they couldn't do any real damage. Think of a Lambo, right? A fast car, definitely faster than a mountain. But if a Lambo charges at a mountain at full speed, what do you think is gonna happen? Same case here. It may take GXK forever, but just like a tortoise and a hare, slow and steady wins the race. Aye. But what about their amps? Super Sonic and Shadow now jump up to planetary now, and even some high ends of large planet to maybe even Dwarf Star. But unfortunately, it hurts me to say it, GXK still got it. Super Sonic and Shadow doesn't scale to the full Eclipse cannon, and that's dividing the amount by half since both of them were blocking it. Meanwhile, Evolved Godzilla can up his Dwarf Star scaling up by at least 20 times. So Sonic and Shadow can sting the Titans like bees, but if they end up catching Godzilla's atomic breath like the cannon, it won't end well, and one of them might get snatched by Kong and yeeted into Godzilla's tail smack. I love Sonic and Shadow, but unfortunately the two kings of the Monsterverse are the winners here. But what do you guys think about this battle? Do you guys have a way for Sonic and Shadow to beat up Godzilla and Kong? Or is there even more ways for Godzilla and Kong to win this fight? Be sure to let me know in the comments below, I'm gonna read it out. And hey, don't forget to subscribe and like if you want a concert to the toughest bear. But with all of that being said and done, I'll catch y'all later.